everyone, this is Lord Tremendous here. I got another battle report here for you. 2,500 point battle, Lord Tremendous, me, Warriors of Chaos, versus
the Fanatic Lord
of the Orcs and Goblins. This is actually a pretty good matchup. I played this particular general before. He was playing Empire during Game 3 of the tournament that I have on my Battle Report channel. Yeah, he's got multiple armies, and he brought out his Orcs and Goblins, and it's an authentic, pretty much all Goblin list. It's more brutal than you would expect, actually, or at least that I would expect. Really good game. Here is my list. A few changes to the list. I don't know if you listened to my last battle report, but I was planning on doing some changes, and they were implemented in this game. So it starts off pretty much the same. I got my Demon Prince as my Lord, and my General, I'm sorry. Lord Tremendous, Mark Zinch, level 4 Wizard, Chaos Armor with Wings. He's got Charm Shield, Dragonbane Gem, Other Trickster Shard, Demon Blade, Soul Feeder, Scaled Skin, and he uses the Laura Metal now. I went with the Laura Metal instead of Laura Zinch because I was finding that I like getting my Demon Prince in combat as quick as possible. And with the Laura Zinch, it really made it so most of his spells that he would get were, as the magic missiles and stuff. Even the direct damage, if you're not in the forward arc, you can't use them. So it was really a pain in the butt. So I decided Laura Metal has more hexes and augments and things like that. Final Transmutation's kind of cool. So I went with the Laura Metal, and I was not disappointed. I was surprised, actually. I usually like more offensive spells, but Laura Metal actually served me well. My heroes are the same as always. The Exalted Hero, Tardum, the Herald of Zinch. He's Mark Zinch. He's my BSB. He's on a Demonic Mart that's barded. He's got a great weapon now because I've decided with a 2-up armor and a 3-up ward rerolling 1s, Strength 7 is worth it, and I can weather most attacks. So I liked it, and I'm not complaining. He's got a Talisman of Preservation, hence the 3-up ward. He's got Poisonous Slime and Third Eye of Zinch. And last but not least is the Chaos Sorcerer, Ashicus the Muse, Mark Slaanesh, a level 2 wizard. He's on Estita Slaanesh, the Slickness. He's got an Enchanted Shield, the Skull of Katam, a Ruby Ring of Ruin, a Luckstone, and the Laura Slaanesh. And I dropped the Talisman of Endurance, and I'm still kind of on the fence about that one because I like the Ruby Ring of Ruin, a D6, Strength 4, Fireball, Flaming Attack type of deal. Power level 3. Is quite nice on somebody who's running around in a unit of fast cav that can't shoot. The Luckstone gives him a little extra survivability. Not having a ward save kinda sucks, but he's in a unit of 5 Hellstriders that would die for him. So far, I'm not complaining about it. It actually works out pretty well. It's just it feels like, I know it's ridiculous. My caster, who has a 1-up armor save, feels naked to me. So yeah, that's how you know you're spoiled, right? My core choices are the same. 24 by Brick of Warriors of Chaos, Mark Zinch, Hand Weapon Shield, Full Command, and the Banner of Eternal Flame. The 5 by Warhounds with poisonous attacks make another appearance. And I've got 2 Chariots, 1 Mark Zinch and 1 Mark Slaanesh. And the 1 Mark Slaanesh is Orcish Elegance because it's just a wet mess and I love it. My special choices are the same. 5 by Hellstriders, the Pleasure Riders, with Band of Musicians, Spears, and Shields. I still have 3 Trolls with extra hand weapons, a Chimera with Poison and Regen, and my rare choice, the Mutalith Vortex. My opponent's list is huge, and he actually gave me his list afterwards. So this is exactly what he had. He had a Night Goblin War Boss as his general with the Potion of Toughness. He has a Night Goblin Great Shaman who is a level 4 wizard, Talisman of Preservation, and Arabian Carpet. It was actually cool to see that item used, and he used it to great effect, which you will see. His hero choice was a Night Goblin Big Boss. He was his BSB, and he had the Standard of Discipline to give him that average discipline for the unit. His core choice was 25. Sit down because this will take a minute. He had a unit of 25 Night Goblins with Spears and Shields and 3 Fanatics. Another unit of 25 Night Goblins with Hand Weapons and Shields with 3 Fanatics. A unit of 22 Night Goblins with Hand Weapon Shields and 3 Fanatics. 2 units of 5 Goblin Wolf Riders with Spears, Shields, Light Bows, and Light Armor. Another unit of 20 Night Goblins with Hand Weapon Shields with 3 Fanatics. Another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one. That's right, 6 another ones. So yeah, that's for all of you that are good at math, you've already figured this out. But for some of us that are just average or terrible at math, I've done the math. That's 27 fanatics. That's right, I didn't stutter. 27 fanatics. So now let's get to his special choices. He had 4 Goblin Wolf Chariots, 6 Spear Chukkas. Yeah, and then his rare choices were 2 Mangler Squigs and 2 Goblin Doom Divers. So like I said, an authentic, actual, pure Goblin list. I'm actually very impressed. It was a pleasure to see this list. To fight against it was exhausting. It really was, because it just seemed like the goblins never ended. Never. So, yeah. This, just to let you know, this particular battle report has 99 slides. Granted, 4 of those are not pertaining directly to the battle, but yeah. So 95 slides worth of pictures, because just so much happens. So to start, here are my spells. 4 from Metal, 2 from Slaanesh, and then there's the Fireball spell. That's for the Ruby Ring of Ruin. It was just thrown in there so that we know we had it. I had the card, why not? And of course my Mutilus spell would make for 8 spells. Here's his spells from the Lord of Little Wog. Yeah, he got the good ones. Here's deployment. As you can see, there's a tide of goblins across the table from me, and I just line up and get ready for a knockout drag out, you know what I mean? There's the Orc and Goblin right flank. There's a Goblin Chariot all the way at the edge there. 5 Wolf Riders that are vanguarded up a little bit. Big old brick of Archers. Big old brick of Hand Weapon Shield guys. Another brick of Hand Weapon Shield Goblins. So yeah, there's 3 bricks of Goblins. And granted, the list itself didn't say anything about bows. That could have just been because I missed it. I don't know. Maybe I told you wrong. Bottom line is what you see is what you get. So that's what it is. There's the center. There's actually 6 bolt throwers on that hill and a Doom Diver in the back there, as you can see. There's his big unit of Hand Weapon Shield guys. Another one in the back there. The one on the right side of this picture is another big unit of goblins with his general and his BSB inside of it. This picture makes it a little hard to see, but the little goblin in the back right middle there, just in front of the unit that's kind of cocked to its left, there's his level 4 caster on the Arabian carpet. You'll get better pictures later. And in the back there's another unit of goblins. The left flank, starting from our right, there's another unit of archers, another unit of 5 wolves that are vanguarded up, another spear chukka, a doom diver, 3 more chariots, and yeah, and I was wrong. There was only 5 chukkas on that hill. Whew. Yeah. If you need a break, now's the time. My right flank there's my Hellstriders with Ashicus in there. They vanguarded up next to the hill. I figured I'd get behind his lines. What better place for him, right? There's my Orcish Elegance Slaanesh Chariot. There's my unit of dogs. My center consisted of my trolls with my BSB on the right there. There's my Demon Prince right in the middle, wondering where he's going to have to go. There's my unit of warriors. And on the left side, Mutilith, Chimera, and Zinch, regular chariot, not a gore beast. Sorry, I still haven't picked one up yet. Here's the table. I got to roll to go first. Go figure, I got the +1, right? But yeah, there's my turn 1 after movement, and as you can see, I wasn't subtle at all. I just moved forward. I said to hell with it. I wanted to release those fanatics, but the dogs they couldn't get close enough, so I figured I'd move them up and see what happens. Probably a stupid move, but it's what I did. Over here, the Hellstriders are actually able to move up. I had planned to release the the fanatics into my guys. I figured to hell with it, might as well come out now. And he didn't roll an 8. So they all stayed just a little bit past me, so I was able to skirt into the forest. I lose a guy in the forest because trees apparently are hidden in the forest. I don't know, but I lose 1 guy to dangerous terrain, but I'm able to get behind or to the side of the archers, and I'm in the forest so that if any fanatic comes towards the Hellstriders, they just die once they hit the forest. So that was awesome. But yeah, and it's 3 more fanatics I don't have to worry about. So outstanding. Over here, during magic phase, I throw 2 dice at the Mutilus spell into the archer unit of goblins, and it goes off irresistible, an 8-bound spell. It's no consequence, all profit. So that was awesome. And although I don't kill any of them because they took 3 toughness tests and he made them all, they got stupidity for the rest of the game, and they were way out of the general's leadership and BSB's bubble, so that was great. It was a bunch of shots I didn't have to worry about. Over here, I got final transmutation off on the general's unit of goblins, and I killed 6 of them. And while that's not a huge big deal, let's face it, 6 goblins in an army with like 200 models really isn't that big of a deal when final transmutation goes off and kills 6. But the huge big deal about that is it's all goblin leadership. So everything within 12 inches of that unit is now stupid. That was a big deal. Granted, it gets re-rolls, and he was actually rolling really well. Still, that many stupidity checks on goblins who already have to roll for animosity, that spell is huge, and I'm thrilled that I got it. Laura Metal was a good choice. So yeah, here's bottom of 1 after movement, and as you can see, he didn't move up a whole lot. A little bit, but not a ton. I think we talked about it after the game, and I remember him saying that was kind of a mistake. He wished he had moved forward more to release his fanatics more on my side of the table, but you know, it's a lesson. It's a Warhammer lesson, kind of like a life lesson. And next time, I'm sure he'll do that. We'll see. This unit right here, the unit of archers next to the Hellstriders, they suffered from animosity. So that was huge. I was thrilled about that because I was worried they were going to turn and fire and destroy my my Hellstriders, that they could do a swift reform or something, you know. The unit of dogs on the right side, or on my left flank, they suffered from animosity and just squabbled. The unit of archers right here, the ones that suffer from animosity, rolled a further 1 and threw a bunch of rocks at the hounds and killed 1, and then the hounds fired back and killed like 4 goblin archers, and that was great. So neither of those units could do anything this turn. During his stupidity portion of his turn, this unit of archers failed their stupidity check and trundled up an inch because I had to stay an inch away from the dogs. The Mangler Squid was stupid, and he trundled forward 3 inches. The Chariot was stupid, and he trundled forward, I think about 5 inches. He stopped an inch away from the dogs. And then his charges, he charged 2 chariots at the dogs. The dogs fled. The dogs only went about 6 inches. He rolled boxcars for one of his trolls, or for one of his chariots, and they actually ran the dogs down. The trolls and the BSB passed their panic check. The Slanesh ones didn't care, and the Demon Prince didn't care. But yeah, lost my dogs. So sad. I was really hoping to release Fanatics with them, but I didn't think with the chariots being movement 9 plus Swift Stride. Stupid on my part. It'll happen again. Over here, his chariot charged my Chimera. I think he underestimated the Chimera here with a 4-up armor and a 4-up regen and strength 6 attacks into the toughness 4 chariot. He wasn't going anywhere, so I really wasn't overly concerned. His magic phase was a wash. His shooting actually didn't do a whole lot. I think I might have lost a warrior, so I didn't even really bother taking any pictures. So we went into combat, and of course, yeah, the Chimera just eats that chariot alive. Once that chariot dies, it's within 6 inches of the Wolf Riders, who flee through the unit of archers, who are stupid, so they don't care. And then the second unit of warriors that were behind the archers take a panic check and flee off the table. So yeah, as you can see, he's picking them up right there. So a whole unit of archers, minus, you know, with their fanatics that he never got to deploy, I was thrilled. Of course, I didn't think about that at the time. It was more of an afterthought. Oh yeah, that's 3 more fanatics I don't have to worry about. Oh, I'm so dumb sometimes. So here's top of 2 after movement, and as you can see, I throw caution to the wind, and I'm like, bring it on, fanatics! That was really stupid. There's my Chimera. He charged a unit of goblins with his hand weapon shield, and they failed their terror check and fled, which was awesome. However, the unit of archers were stupid, immune to psychology, and so as soon as I got within 8 inches of them, because I was trying to catch them and maybe run them down, so I didn't try. And plus, he's leadership 4. I'm not going to try to redirect with the Chimera. Well, the Chimera keeps going. And he ended up failing his charge. He went 6 inches, but it doesn't matter. As soon as I got within 8 inches of this of the archer unit, he deploys his fanatics. Well, they rolled two of them rolled 6 inches or 7 inches, and one of them rolled like 3 inches. So that's where they ended up right there in the picture. my Chimera had to keep going, and he went 6 inches, so it took me 4 inches to get where I was. I still had another 2 inches, so I land on those 2 fanatics, and the Chimera takes like 11 strength 5 wounds at armor piercing, and I failed. I think like 8 of the wounds got through, and I missed 4. So yeah, the Chimera dies, and that sucked. But the funny factor was pretty up there. 2 fanatics tangled up into a big old Chimera, and they all die. So at least I took a couple fanatics out. Over here, the trolls charged, and I knew a bunch of fanatics were going to come out. I just didn't realize that every single unit was going to have fanatics. I figured if 3 of those units had fanatics, I'd have some problems, but when they all had fanatics, that hurt. So in the end, it took us like 20 minutes to get through just all the wounds and everything. I lost 2 trolls, which was amazing that I didn't lose them all, and I took no wounds on my BSB, and I make my charge, and that's where I ended up. And 3 of the 3 of the fanatics ended up dead because I landed on them when I ended up in front of the unit. So oh man, did that suck. So during my magic phase, I got final transmutation off on that unit next to the general's unit, and I kill 7 of them. But once again, it's not so much about killing them as it is about the stupidity checks that will ensue next turn, which I was really happy about. My Mutalith charged and got into combat with the bowman. Sorry, those pictures got swapped around. It should have been the other way, but either forgive me or hate me. But yeah, they got into the unit of archers who were immune to psychology, so they just didn't care. The Striders got into combat here against the bowman. I lost another one to dangerous terrain when I charged. So yeah, trees, they're invisible in the forest apparently. And yep, during combat, the BSB and the troll are there, and they're doing the best that they can. That's just a better picture, I guess, of them making it in. I'm really not sure why that picture's in there. So just enjoy it. There's a lot of color on the page. During combat, the Mutalith beats down, I think, 5 goblins, which isn't great, but I was rolling kind of low. But it was enough to win combat, and they're steadfast, and they stuck it out. Over here, the Hellstriders win combat. The unit breaks. It doesn't make its steadfast roll. I overrun into the Spear Chukka, and I don't lose anybody. I run them down, catch the unit of archers, overrun into the Spear Chukka, don't lose any more Hellstriders to the forest, and the Doom Diver fails its panic check, so it doesn't shoot next turn, which is huge. Over here, the BSB and Troll exact revenge for their fallen Troll brothers. I kill a bunch, but with their leadership, their general's leadership, steadfast, and the BSB, they make it and they don't break, which was a little disheartening. I was really hoping to break this unit, overrun into the caster on a carpet, and just mow through those units. Just take care of all of his characters in one fell swoop. But the fact that I survived that whole big onslaught, that's enough for me, So we go to bottom of 2 after movement, and as you can see, there's been some. The unit of goblins that fled from the Chimera never rallied, so they went off the table. There's 3 more fanatics I don't have to worry about. The fanatic tide pool that was over there behind the BSB and the troll is gone. They ran into each other. He rolled a ton of doubles. In fact, he even lost some over where the Hellstriders, where they released against the Hellstriders. I think one of them went off the table, and another one rolled doubles, and another one just went towards the table edge, didn't do anything. That unit that I got final transmutation off on charged the flank of the BSB, so that kind of sucked. I was a little worried about them, with combat res just breaking my BSB, and as we all know, when the BSB breaks from combat, he dies. So that made me a little nervous. Other than that, it was a pretty, crazy turn. Yeah. Here's a better picture of the goblins into the side of the BSB. I knew they weren't going to do any wounds to the BSB, and I figured if I challenged, but it was still charge, flank, and 2 ranks, 3 ranks maybe. I think it was 2 ranks, So I was a little concerned about that because I only had like a banner right now, but I was really hoping for combat res. Yep, this unit that was cocked to the side there, it fails its stupidity roll because of final transmutation. He was within 12 inches, so that's great. He just kind of trundles an inch, which I'll take. There's like, yeah, there's 4 fanatics missing there, so that's awesome too. And they don't do anything, so very, very useful. Right here, one of his bolt throwers fails the stupidity check, which is huge. One less, bolt thrower being shot at me is always a bonus. And over here, the Mangler Squig fires forward just enough to get pretty much land right on top of the Gorbeast portion of this chariot, bounce through, and it did another like 10 wounds to him. I didn't save any of them, and the chariot explodes into a million pieces. So, heartbreak. Over here, his caster passes his leadership check and flies over next to my Demon Prince and gets off the huge Curse of a Bad Moon spell. And not only does he get it off, but he gets it off without irresistible forcing it. So, yeah, hits my Demon Prince, and then it travels a bunch of inches and goes through my warriors and lands right where you see, which is poop. So all my warriors and my Demon Prince have to take a strength check. So my Demon Prince, I immediately roll a 6-4. And so he takes a wound with no armor save, and I don't make my ward. So that's poop. And then my warriors. I need 5s to fail it. 5s and 6s to fail it. And I fail 5, 8, 12 failed strength checks. And I didn't ward save any of them. So yeah. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 12 guys die to strength checks. With a 6-up ward. I didn't make any of them. I rolled tons of 5s and 6s to fail it, but not one ward save. Zinch was like, hey, y'all need to work out. So, poop. And then, just to add insult to injury, he gets a Vindictive Glare off on my Demon Prince, and it wounds and gets through my armor and ward save, and yeah. So it's like, stop bullying the Demon Prince, Goblin Shaman. It's tacky. So yeah, his shooting is irrelevant, and we go over to combat, and my Hellstriders and Ashigus are able to kill off the rest of the unit, or to kill off the crew for the Spear Chukka, and then turn to face the Goblin Wolf Riders. Hindsight being 2020, I should have went after the Doom Diver. I didn't, but I should have. And yeah, instead I turned to face the Wolf Riders. Oh, and the Hellstriders are now stubborn, which is awesome. Over here, the Mutalith breaks the unit of Goblin Archers. They flee. I restrain him so he can go after the hill full of Spear Chukkas and stuff, because I just didn't want to deal with that anymore. And then in this combat, the BSB and Troll does enough combat res to win this combat. However, both units are steadfast and stay. So here's top of 3 after movement. As you can see, the Demon Prince goes in, the Hellstriders charge and run down the wolves, so they are now Devastating Charge, 4-up ward save, and stubborn. The warriors charge the chariot that came up, and the Mutalith gets a hold of the Spear Chukka that's on the hill, the first of 5. There's a better picture of the Mutalith slamming into that unit of Spear Chukka, because I'm tired of them shooting at me. There's a better picture of the warriors hitting the chariot. The Demon Prince, just because he's on half dead now, I need him to get in there and start rolling some soul feeders, you know what I mean? And there's where the Striders ended up after charging down the Wolf Riders, which was cool because it's the second time that I've ever had them fully powered up. So yeah, landmark. Over here, just to give him a little extra protection, I gave him a 5-up armor save, and it brings my BSB's armor save to a 1-up, which is always fun. In combat, the Mutalith has absolutely no trouble eating up the crew and then turning to face the next bolt, Spear Chukka. It fails its panic check, so it can't shoot next turn, which is always good. The 2 closest to him actually fail, so that's good. They can't shoot at him at least. The warriors, a little embarrassed about failing their losing more than half the unit to a bad moon, destroys the chariot and overruns. And over here, we are able to kill the Lord and BSB's unit, and they just die to a man. I think the BSB is left, and he gets run down, or he breaks, and he doesn't get run down, but he dies. We win this combat no problem, but when when they get done, we measure and we realize that the fanatics in that unit and in the other unit were within 8 inches. We just didn't notice it before. So he sends his fanatics through, and as you can see, 3 of them go bouncing through, do a couple of wounds to the troll. There's one in front of the troll now. Yeah, 6 more fanatics come out, and yeah, it's just awful. It's an awful place to be. But you know what? It could have been worse. They could have came out before combat started and done just a ton more wounds or killed everybody off. I have no idea. But it is what it is. We noticed it and we fixed it at the moment we noticed it. So it worked out. Here's bottom of 3 after movement. Yeah, as you can see, the fanatics bounced around. They did another wound to the troll and killed him. The mangler squid. Yeah, I'll show you in a minute. It's mass hysteria. Yeah, right here is the picture. The fanatics bounced through that unit of goblins that we're in combat with, and then the mangler squig, who got charged through by a fleeing unit, is now random movement. So he rolls this random movement, and it moves perfectly through the BSB and the unit of goblins that I'm in a fight with. It doesn't touch anything else. One of the fanatics goes through the demon prince, puts another wound on him. The troll dies. The unit of goblins is now dead in his turn. So my demon prince, who's sitting on 1 wound left, and my BSB are now out of combat, which means they can shoot at me, do magic, whatever they want. My demon prince needs to heal wounds, and he can't now. And there's not even anywhere for him to charge or flee next if he survives this round. So I'm like, oh no, my demon prince is about to die. And that's exactly what happens. During his shooting phase, the closest bolt thrower to him turns and puts a bolt right through his left eye socket, which is hard to see because it's all covered in reps. But yeah, the demon prince dies, and that sucks. But I gotta give it to my buddy here. An all-goblin list takes out a demon prince with shooting and fanatics and magic. I'm as upset as I am about losing my demon prince, I have to be humbled. So yeah, top of 4 after all is said and done. Here's what it looks like. My Hellstriders turn around to face the caster. I want to try to take him down. The Slanesh chariot turns around and gets ready to try to get into this fight. The warriors charge the spear chukkas because they have now marked themselves for death. The Mutalith charges one of the spear chukkas because, although it's too little too late, it is what it is. And the BSB charges a unit of goblins because now I'm just everything for vengeance. You know what I mean? There's a picture of the Mutalith into one of the spear chukkas, and yeah, we all know how that's going to go. Yeah, and yes, the Mutalith has taken a few wounds from shooting, mostly Doom Diver stuff. Yeah, here's the warriors looking to get some revenge on the spear chukkas who dare to kill Demon Prince. And my BSB just throws caution to the wind and just goes, time to kill everything. My Mutalith gets a spell off on that unit of goblins that fired off their fanatics to help kill my demon prince, and although I think like 2 die, he gets the stupidity off on him again, so there's another unit of goblins that are stupid, and that's awesome. Ashikis gets a hold of uses Ruby Ring of Ruin to put 1 wound on the goblin flying shaman there. Literally I rolled 1d6 or 1 on my d6, and it hit and wounded. It got past his ward save. I'll take it. We go into combat because my shooting phase doesn't exist, and of course, the Mutalith has no problem eating up the bolt thrower and then overrunning into the next one. Here's my warriors. They, of course, do the same thing: eat the bolt thrower alive, and then overrun into the same one that the Mutalith has hit. So it's all over but the crying for that poor bastard. And the BSB hits him. Does a bunch of wounds. There's nothing to challenge because he doesn't take unit change. He doesn't take any kind of command for his goblins, which is actually one of the reasons he has so many. But they are steadfast, but they don't have the general's leadership anymore, nor do they have a BSB, so they fail and they get run down, or they run off the table. Either way, no, they run off the table. I don't catch them. So my BSB ends up right there, and in subsequent panic checks, the stupid unit, the goblins that were stupid, we rolled for them, forgetting that they were immune to psychology. We put them, they break and flee, but we remember it after the fact and we put them back. But the other unit of goblins that you see in this picture, they fail their panic check from unit destroyed within 6 and flee towards the forest there, which is good. So bottom of 4 after movement. As you can see, I think he rallied his the fleeing unit of goblins. But yeah, there's not a whole lot left. A lot of stuff is dead. A lot of stuff rolled doubles. A lot of the fanatics ran into each other. I think that's what happened. I think a fanatic ran into into the squig herder and stuff like that. But before all that happened, the unit of stupid goblins failed their stupidity check and trundled forward 6 inches and landed on a couple. Went through one of the fanatics and landed on a couple of more. He ended up doing like 8 D6 worth of wounds to him, some crazy amount, and in the end only 4 goblins remained, and since they were stupid they passed their panic check. So yeah, there it is, there's his dice roll. It was 5d6 worth of wounds to that unit, and 4 survived it. So 1 less brick of goblins I have to worry about, I guess. His Goblin Doom Diver during his shooting phase takes aim at the Hellstriders, and even with a 4 board save, kills 2 of them, which is like, uh-oh. In combat, the Mutalith warrior combo kills the Spear Chukka, and they just kind of turn to face, the warriors are going after the other Spear Chukka, and the Mutalith is going after the Doom Diver next turn, because you can't overrun an overrun. Or at least I don't think you can. I don't. So here's top of 5 after movement. The Mutalith went after the Doom Diver. The Warriors went after the other Spear Chukka. The BSB turns around to go after the Warriors. The Hellstriders, I'm an idiot. I thought I was safe behind a house. I forgot that Doom Divers fire like stone throwers so they can indirect fire. And with the Doom Divers, I move you D6 inches towards whatever, it's still going to be a pretty accurate shot. So the Slaanesh Chariot moves up to go after the goblins in turn 6, and that's it. Here's a picture of the warriors getting ready to destroy the last Chukka. 6 of 6. I want the whole set. Here's my Mutalith getting ready to make the Doom Diver pay for its insolence and hurting. And of course, my magic phase is hiding behind a tree or behind a house right now. It doesn't really do anything because it's level 2 versus level 4. But yeah, we easily take out the rest of just Chukka Hill, and it is now ours. And they turn to face the goblins and dare them to shoot at them. So here's bottom of 5 after movement. His level 4 caster flies over to go after the what's it called? The unit of warriors, and his unit of goblins pass their animosity and charge my chariot. And to be honest with you, I knew the chariot probably wouldn't take any damage. I knew the chariot would probably be all right. But with charge, 3 ranks, and he's already winning by 4. I have no Demon Prince, so he's only leadership 8. So we need a 4 to stay if I flubbed. And it's bottom of 5. I need to save points. I was worried about the fanatic, so I fled. I figured I can rally him on an 8, and if not, I've only got 1 turn to flee, and even if I roll boxcars, he's not going anywhere, so there was just no point in even risking it, because if I lose combat by 1 and roll an 8 or 9, 10 or 11 or 12, and he flees, the goblins have a really good chance of catching me, and I just didn't want to take that chance. It wasn't worth it, and this game was so close, every point counted, so I fled, I got away, and I stick by my decision. So yeah, over here during his magic phase, his caster gets another Curse of the Bad Moon off. Another one! And is able to kill 4 more warriors, 1 being my unit champion, because again, I'm rolling 5s and 6s for my checks. It was all strength. The Mutalith passed, but yeah, everything else took a wound, and yeah, I'm down to like 7 guys. It's a little disheartening. That little caster really, really beat the crap out of me. But yeah, again, no irresistible force on it. Just getting it through like it's easy, like a 25 is easy. So whatever. Very cool kit out for that guy though. Carpet and a 4-up board. That's it. Very cool kit out. And yeah, this is where I found out that how indirect fire works, and I'm an idiot for not knowing this, but he educated me, and I do appreciate that. So yeah, he kills Ashikis and the last Hellstrider with the his last remaining Doom Diver with indirect fire. It was a direct hit, but it only deviated 2 inches, and so he was able to put it right back on him because you deduct your ballistic skill from indirect fire. So not only did the goblins hit something they couldn't see, but they direct hitted something that they couldn't see and killed both the character and the Hellstrider and the unit. So beautiful shot by my opponent, very well played, and I will not be making that mistake again. I hope. I think. I don't know. So here's top of 6 after movement, and as you can see, there's not a whole lot left on the table. The Mutalith turns to face his little caster because I'm hoping to get my spell off on him. My warriors charge the last remaining 4 goblins in the rear because why not? I could use the 12 points. And the BSB goes after the final Doom Diver because killing my Hellstriders and Ashikis cannot go unanswered. It usually isn't. Or it usually isn't allowed. Blah, blah, blah. There's a picture of the warriors looking to get some more points for me. There's the BSB enacting revenge for Ashikis and the Hellstriders. And yeah, we just go straight into... Well, he dispels my magic phase, no problem, because it's a Mutalith versus a level 4 caster. I threw all 6 dice at it, wasn't irresistible. He threw all of his dispel dice at it, and added 4, and easily dispelled my spell. But yeah, the goblins fall to a man to my warriors. Wasn't hard. The Doom Diver, as you can see here, falls to my BSB. Wasn't hard. And then we go to bottom of 6, end of the game. After movement, it looks like this. Nothing of any note happens. The game is called, and that's what the board looks like at the end of the game. As you can see, it was a brutal knockout, drag out, wonderful, wonderful fight. And I really, really enjoyed this game. I'm not even going to tell you yet how it ended up. You can see what's left on the table. But oh my god, did I enjoy this game. I've been playing since 2007. I have never played a pure all-goblin list. And honestly, I would have said 100 times over until this game that to bring an all-goblin list is to just bring fail. But not only did my opponent play this army just like a master, like it's all he's ever done his entire life, but it was intelligently played, it was intelligently put together. It was a true challenge to fight this list, and I absolutely cannot wait to do it again. It was so much fun. So thank you, buddy, for bringing this list. I truly enjoyed it. All right, now it's time for a quick timeout. That's right. Banners, banners, banners. You want those banners. Look at those banners. Those banners are outstanding banners. I love my banners. I keep ordering more banners. I will get new pictures up soon. But do yourself a favor. Call or send this guy an email. Yeah, call him. Send this guy an email and get yourself one of these banners. Talk to him. He works great with people. A lot of people are doing it. Don't be left out. It's worth it. Your army deserves it. So yes, it was a tiny victory for me, Lord Tremendous. I got 1746 out of him. He got 1524 out of me. I won by 222 points. I love games like this where they're within 300 points because it's so intense the entire game. I loved playing this game. It was a true joy. I ended up losing my Demon Prince. I lost Ashikis. My Warhounds. Meh. My Tzeentch Chariot, my Chimera, my Hellstriders, and my Trolls. All dead. Mostly the Fanatics and shooting. Oh, it was brutal. The Orc and Goblin player lost everything except for his Goblin Shaman on the carpet, and it was a very cool kit out. You would think something that simple on a Lord would work, but there's so many other targets, you don't even think about that guy until he's nuking you with the Bad Moon spell. He had a Mangler Squig left, the one that blew up my chariot, and the one big unit of Night Goblins that I couldn't touch. Like I said, what a brutal army an all-Goblin army can be. It was amazing. 27 Fanatics. Granted, I only had to face 21, but oh my god. Plus 2 Mangler Squigs. Oh no. Oh man, that was just every minute that you think, oh cool, I got the advantage. Here comes 3, 6, 9, 12 fanatics just giggling as they mash your army to pieces. It was very, very cool, actually. Very cool. I enjoyed that. And the thing about this was, it was an all goblin army versus an elite chaos army. And it was close the entire game. 222 points is what I ended up winning this game by. If he had killed off my unit of warriors, if he had bad mooned my warriors off the table, if he had been able to put the last couple of wounds on my mutolith, if he had finished off my chariot, it would have been a draw to a loss for me. And that's amazing. I underestimated goblins, and my opponent has corrected me. And you know what, buddy? I owe you a beer because that was never something I would think that I would have to learn. And he was a great opponent too. The whole game, you know how some opponents they get upset, they get cranky. No, the entire time this guy was not only a gentleman, but he was a joy to play against. I really, really am looking forward to our next game. How about my Demon Prince though, man? Talk about the worst luck. Rolling a 6 on the bad moon, and then the Vindictive Glare doing another wound to him, and then a bunch of fanatics being released taking another wound, and then he's out of combat staring down the barrel of 2 bolt throwers. Granted, it only took 1, but yeah, my Demon Prince has the worst luck. It has nothing to do with my playing skills. No, it doesn't. It can't. But yeah, that was a fanatic game, a fantastic game, and I really look forward to the rematch. I want one very soon. Looking forward to doing another battle report with 700 models on the table. But yeah, guys, that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it, and any questions, comments, concerns, and complaints, by all means, put them in the comments section. I respond. I enjoy it. Yeah. Thanks.